guys, and welcome back for another short flow. Today's is a bit more of a skills and drills practice, practicing on stepping to lunge from maybe a down facing dog or similar without the shuffle. So sometimes people find that they can't get their leg all the way through in one smooth move and they end up kind of shuffling or helping it through with their hands. So I'm going to help you build some strength, understand how to transition and how to get the right alignment so you can get rid of that shuffle and step with one smooth move all the way through to lunge. So whenever you're ready, you don't need anything at all, just some space on the floor or a mat if you have one. So if you come and join me in a kneeling position on your mats, we're going to be spending quite a bit of time on our wrists or our hands today. So I just want to make sure that you've warmed up your wrists properly. So let's just start by churning the wrists. You can either rotate the wrists this way, just simply, or interlink the fingers and churn the hands a few times. Just get them mobilized, get the synovial fluids moving. And then once you've gone in one direction a few times, switch over and go in the other direction. Then slowly come onto your hands and knees. You're going to plant your wrists, your hands on the floor. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, fingers pointing forwards to begin with, and we're just going to shuffle the weight over our wrists, rocking back and forth, keeping the heels of our hands flat on the floor along with our fingers, just really planting the weight. So we're shooting the body weight over the hands, and you can feel it in the tops of your wrists this way. Maybe do 5 or 6 of these. And then slowly take the hands out to the side, so fingertips go out to the side, heels of the hands point into the middle, and we're just going to rock side to side, opening up the wrists, keeping those hands flat on the floor, so make sure your heels of your hands stay glued to the floor. And again, 5 or 6 each side. One more each side. And then turn your fingers back towards your knees. So the heels of the hands are now pointing towards or facing the front of the mat, fingers pointing towards your knees. And you're just going to rock back and forth. So this, you can go as far as mobility allows, just keep those heels flat to the floor. So if it's just a small movement, don't worry, you're still getting the same stretch and you're still warming up your wrists just as well. And again, just 5 or 6 of these, so I might do another 2. And then I'm just going to sit back on my knees, shake my wrists out a little bit, churn them, maybe do a couple of these. So if at any point you find during this practice that your wrists are hurting, feel free to just shake the wrists out, circle them around, and then come back to it. So we're going to take a few cat-cows as well to warm up our shoulders and our backs and our arms. You're just going to inhale as you dip the stomach towards the floor, look up at the ceiling, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and as you exhale around through the spine, pulling the shoulder blades apart, dropping the head to look towards the knees. We're going to do 5 of those. So inhale to lift, exhale to round, inhale to lift, exhale to round, inhale to lift, exhale to round, inhale to lift one last time, exhale to round. Take the hands just slightly further forwards now, spread the fingers, grip the mat with the hands, tuck the toes and press back to down facing dog. Open up the shoulders, so think about creating space between the shoulder blades by wrapping the armpits under and pulling them apart. Pedal out the feet, push the sit bone high towards the sky so you've got a nice long spine, let the crown of the head hang towards the ground. Open up the calves, the hamstrings, and then just take a few pulses through the shoulders to open them out. Walk the feet all the way in towards the hands. Take a moment in Uttanasana forward fold. So think about bringing the chest towards the thigh, letting the crown of the head hang towards the ground. And you can take ragdoll if you want to swing from side to side, rock back and forth. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable. And then on the next inhale, lift all the way up, extended Tadasana, reaching up tall. Exhale, release the hands. Plant the hands on the knees and just twizzle out the knees. And then back in the other direction. So we're going to work on a few mobility things to get the shoulders and the body fired up. and getting all the right bits engaged to help you with that transition. So we're going to work our way all the way back down to down facing dog. So you're going to take a nice big inhale as you take your arms up above your head. Exhale as you fold forwards into Uttanasana, forward fold. Option here to step or hop back to down facing dog. So plant your hands on the floor if you're going to hop. Inhale to lift your heels off the floor and suck your knees in towards your chest. And as you exhale, catch in plank. Try not to let the hips drop, and then press back to down facing dog. From here, we're going to do down dog to cobra body rolls. So I want you to think about inhaling as you roll forwards, plunging through the shoulders, really shooting the body weight forwards over the hands, and then dropping the hips towards the floor, lifting up towards the ceiling with your eye gaze, and finding that back bend in cobra, pulling the shoulders back and down away from the ears. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the toes and roll the body back through, leading with the tailbone all the way back through, dropping the head and pushing it through the hands or the arms, finding that down facing dog. We're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale as you roll forwards, creating a wave with your spine, dropping your hips towards the floor, taking your eye gaze up towards the ceiling, pulling those shoulders back and down. Exhale, tuck the toes and press back to down facing dog, leading with the tailbone, pressing through the hands, pushing the head through the arms. Inhale for the last time, roll forwards, find that wave, planche over those hands. Drop the hips towards the floor. Inhale as you lift your eye gaze up towards the ceiling, pull those shoulders back and down, eye gaze up. Exhale, press back to down facing dog. Come down onto your knees and just find extended child's pose for a few moments. So that is teaching you to plant your body weight forwards as you transition through that kind of high plank pose into that cobra. We're now going to try and hold that high plank with the planche. So I really want you to think about pressing the ground away, almost trying to hollow out your chest and pull your shoulder blades apart so that you're rounding through the upper back so that you can hold more. It's building this strength and a strong position at the top to hold your body weight over your arms and push the ground away, so you're keeping that lift away from the floor. So if you come into your down facing dog, we're going to roll the body weight forwards over the arms, find that high plank position. So try and roll up even onto your toes so that the least weight as possible is in your feet. Really push your hands away, push your hands into the ground and push your body away from the ground. So you're keeping that pelvis tucked. Don't let the bum slip out too high. Keep the tailbone down, but really push the shoulder blades apart and round through that upper back. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and then exhale, release, come back down to down facing dog. We're going to do that 2 more times. So you're going to inhale to lift, push the ground away, find that hollow chest position. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, push back. 1 more time. Inhale, roll forwards, press the ground away, hollow out that chest, around through those shoulders, shoot the body weight forwards. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, push back to down facing dog, drop to the knees, and take a moment again in extended child's pose. Relax off the shoulders and the arms. So now that you understand how the upper body needs to work to provide space that you've created with that planching to simply step that foot underneath you. So that planching has really given you a massive space now to just pop your knee underneath. We're going to try that in a lunge transition from down facing dog. So if you come up into your down facing dog, we're going to tuck the toes, press back to down facing dog, and we're going to inhale as we lift the right leg up high to the sky and then look forward. So now think about when you come forwards, tucking that leg, tucking the knee in towards the chest, planching the body forward. So find that planche again, really find that lift, roll right onto your left toes and then step your foot through in that space that you've just created. So it's really a compression thing of keeping that knee lifted and tucked into the body and then planching through the hands like we've just been practicing to find that hollow body space to create even more space than normal. Because what happens is a lot of the time people come from this down facing dog and they come into a plank but they're not planching, so they haven't got the space to get their foot there and they end up kind of doing this awkward shuffle. So from that down facing dog we'll do the other side. You're going to inhale as you lift your left leg up high towards the sky this time. Look forwards, tuck that leg right up into your chest, planche through the arms, and step the foot into that space that you've just created to find lunge again, wherever that might be. And then exhale, step back to down facing dog. Come onto your hands and knees, drop to your knees, and come back into extended child's pose. And have a little break if you need to. I would recommend to kind of practice that a couple of times. And then if you want to try and use it within a flow or kind of enhance on that transition thing, you could try and add a little balance flow into it as well. So one of my favorites is to go from star plank into lunge, just because it's quite a challenging pose and it really emphasizes on that pushing the ground away and tucking the knees up high in towards the chest. So come up into your plank position and we're going to roll over onto the left side. Option to drop the knee if you want to, or stack the feet, one in front, one behind, wherever you need to be. If you want to come into star plank, lift that top leg, keeping that bum tucked nicely underneath you. Suck that knee up towards your right armpit and then twizzle around to find that lunge position without putting this hand down. So it's involving pushing the ground away and using compression, but more on the side in this one, I suppose, to find that lunge. And then you can transition into lunge and then step back to down facing dog and try it on the other side. So roll forwards to high plank, swivel round onto the right side this time, find your right-sided star plank if you can, keeping that bum sucked under, reaching up with your hand and your foot on your left, tuck that left knee up into your left armpit and then step it around into that star plank without putting that hand down. Find your lunge position, look forwards, exhale, step back to down facing dog, press through the hands, come down onto your knees and take a moment to rest in child's pose. So hopefully that's helped you understand a bit more about what the body's doing within that transition. It's given you a bit of a fun flow to practice with that might challenge you, and you can work towards kind of really finding that space and developing that transition flow to help you in your practice and get more from your practice in the future.